God has his or her own funny ways of testing the patience of a business owner. And nothing beats the test of blessing you with a lazy team member. Now, when I say this, I know there's a smile on your face, and that smile is a smile of suffering because you feel like breaking your head to the wall when you encounter a team member who's so lazy that even after all the motivation, all the direction, and all the instructions you provide, this person barely moves an inch. This person is like that snail that is moving in slow motion and is testing your patience because they are barely moving. If you know what I'm talking about, then this video is for you because I'm going to break down for you what are the ways for you to deal with a lazy team member so that you can awaken their soul and get them to start taking action. Now, if you also notice, the tone of my voice in this video is very different because we are talking about lazy people. These are the kind of people who can put a happy person to sleep. These are the kind of people who can put a person who's suffering from insomnia to sleep. So we need to go down to their level, understand their psychology, and cater to their neurons, which will awaken them to take action. So let's dive into understanding how do we work with lazy team members. As I break down to you this process, you need to keep in mind, it's a 6-step process. It's not a one-step wonder. One single step will not work with such a person. So let's understand what is the 6-step process to awaken a lazy person. Step number 1. With a lazy person, the first thing you need to do is you need to invest your time and energy in having a conversation with them to understand what are their personal goals, what are their personal aspirations, what is it that they want to accomplish for themselves in their career, what is it that they want to accomplish for themselves financially, what is it that they want to accomplish for themselves in terms of providing for their family. Sitting down with such a person and just having a chill conversation to just understand what is their vision, what are their goals, is the start point of awakening the light within this shutdown system that you are interacting with. What you need to understand is this: when you have this conversation, typically this is the type of person who's even never ever thought of these kind of questions. So you may get a very slow response, but it's important to ask these questions and engage them in this conversation of breaking down their personal goals, financial goals, goals for their families, because that's what awakens this person's spirit to move them to the next step. Now, once you facilitate this conversation of understanding their financial goals, career goals, and goals for their own family, you've understood what drives them, what excites them, or what is the direction that they want to take. And based on this personal aspirations that they have, you need to delegate to them a role which is in alignment with their capability and personality. One of the biggest mistakes you can make with an already lazy person is expect too many things from them. Please delegate clear tasks and activities to this person and give them a clear role for which they already have the capabilities. Remember, you're dealing with a lazy person. You can't expect them to be extra motivated in doing things that are beyond their own comfort zone. So the first thing that we need to do is leverage their existing personality, leverage their existing capabilities to generate a result from this individual. Once you have clearly defined what are the tasks and activities, what is the role which is in alignment with this individual that you've delegated to them, then you go to the next step of defining clear goals and metrics for this person for that particular role. When it comes to defining a clear goal for this lazy individual on your team, let me tell you what are the 3 types of goals you need to break down, especially for a lazy person. One goal that you need to break down for them is a result goal. By them doing whatever activities you are expecting them to do, what is the end result you expect them to accomplish? Please define it clearly. That's called a result goal. The end objective, the end outcome that they are responsible for producing. Now, while you define the result goal, you also need to define the effort goal for this person. So say, for example, you have a lazy salesperson. Firstly, that's a very bad idea. Never have a lazy person on your team who's in the sales department. But let's just say you have a lazy salesperson. The result goal will be the number of deals you expect this person to crack, will be the amount of revenue you expect this person to generate. Now, while you define that result goal, you also need to define an effort goal for this person. You need to break it down to the detail where you need to tell this person for them to achieve that revenue and close that many number of deals, how many meetings that they need to go for on a weekly and a monthly basis, how many prospects do they have to generate on a weekly and a monthly basis. So break down that effort of number of meetings this person has to do. And then beyond defining a clear effort goal which will help them fulfill and achieve their result goal, you also need to go down to the detail of defining a learning goal for a lazy person, because sometimes they may not have the required skills and knowledge to be able to channelize their effort in the right direction. So break down result goals, effort goals and learning goals, where you've broken down the detail of what capabilities they have to develop before they start putting the effort and expecting the result for themselves. This level of detailed clarity is extremely important for a lazy person, so you cut all their escape routes of giving you excuses. That's why defining clear goals is important. And once you define clear result goals, effort goals and learning goals with clear timelines to eliminate all kinds of reasons and excuses this person can give you, it is your job to do the fourth activity, which is the activity of doing weekly reviews with such a person. Remember, this is a lazy person. And for this lazy person, you need to have regular reviews so that the reviews can become trigger reminders for them to be in action mode. If you have a long gap between reviews for a lazy person, then it's giving them the space to go back to sleep and not really be in action mode. But if you do weekly reviews, then they know there is a checkpoint that is coming up every week and they have to have something which is tangible for them to answer in that review, and therefore you keep a check on them and keep them in action mode. Regular reviews is a necessity with a lazy person. And while you're doing these regular reviews on a weekly basis with a lazy person, please understand this, you're not just doing these reviews to blame them and pick their faults. In fact, one of the primary reasons of doing regular reviews is for you to be able to use the review to acknowledge them and appreciate them for the smallest action that they've taken. What you need to understand is this: if you want to transform the personality of a person from being lazy to being proactive, in the review, you can't go aggressive with this person. In the review, you got to go positive with this person and really pat them on the back for every small positive action that they've taken. What you appreciate appreciates, and keep that principle in mind, especially when you're dealing with a lazy person, because the trap you may fall into is always criticizing them for their laziness. The more you criticize them for their laziness, the more you're appreciating their laziness and focusing on the laziness, and you will see that behavior appreciating. But if you start acknowledging them and appreciating them genuinely for the smallest actions and the changes that they are showing, then their need to show more changes increases, because they see that you're valuing the change that they are showcasing at the workplace on a daily basis. Now, before I go into the final point, I want to also highlight something over here. Business owners struggle with such team members, not because the team member is a problem, but because there's a lack of clarity missing in the business owner about how they should go about people management in their own business. Look, if you want to deal with people issues, it starts with the start. It starts with you hiring the right people, developing people through consistent feedback, doing regular review meetings, and then acknowledging and appraising the salaries of talented people in the right manner based on data and performance, and firing the wrong people. If you have a challenge with people management as a skill, and right from the start you don't know how to hire the right kind of people, then I have an invitation for you. I want you to invest 2.5 hours of your time by clicking on the link below and registering yourself for my upcoming business success workshop, where I break down for you the mechanics of building the right kind of teams, right kind of systems, and right kind of strategy for your business growth. So make sure you click on the link and you're not being lazy, and you continue your learning journey to equip yourself with capabilities required to build a business which can grow without you. Do that right now. Don't be lazy. And let me come back to the last and final action step that you need to take if you have a lazy team member. Apart from understanding their personal aspirations, delegating roles in alignment with their personality and capability, creating clear result goals, effort goals, and learning goals, doing regular review meetings, and acknowledging them for the smallest changes that they are making to build momentum for such a person, the sixth activity that you need to do with a lazy team member is giving actionable feedback to such a person. Never ever give vague feedback to a lazy person. If you're going to tell a lazy person, think outside the box, pull up your socks, their brain is not able to comprehend that feedback. Give them specific, actionable feedback. Tell them, do this, say this, talk to the customer like this, talk to the supplier like this, respond to the email like this. Give solution-focused, specific, actionable feedback, so you're again eliminating all the excuses and reasons this person could come up with for them to justify their inaction. That's how you wake up a lazy person. This 6 steps is like giving a CPR to a person who's getting a cardiac arrest and reviving them back. In the same way, you got to make sure you revive your lazy people on the team to becoming proactive and taking responsibility for what they're supposed to do. I hope you found these 6 inputs useful. Go out there, implement this, and tell me in the comment section below, how did it go for you? And if you have any other questions, ask them in the comment section below. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.